Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Gemini, February 2020, career and finance. Just to give you a brief rundown as to why the layout is as it is. I have had some technical difficulties along the way here, so that's why my screen might look a little bit different. I'm trying different modalities here. Anyway, these are actually clarifier cards. They basically fell out in a group, in a cluster, and I didn't really feel that was the wrong thing to do, so I did leave them in the reading. I've also pulled 3 cards here, which are just energies for overall 2020. But again, this is a reading for February 2020, Gemini, career and finance. So to start the reading off, this very first card here is the Ace of Cups. And that Ace of Cups tells me that you are moving away from difficulty, problems, things that you may have, it could have been a journey of self-discovery that you're starting on here, but it is a transitional period of time. So again, you're moving off in a new direction, you're going on to a new route, so you are making some kind of a life change. The next card up here is the Ten of Swords. I'm sorry, part of it is covered here just for lack of room on my screen. But the Ten of Swords, basically, tens are about beginnings and endings, and certainly it is also a turning point. So it's really a time of you being enlightened and being able to see where you're headed, going off in that direction. You're letting go of negative, toxic energy, and you're seeing what you need to do. This next card here is the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is an indicator that you have some kind of celebration, something to celebrate. So it can also mean, teamwork, but either way, you're putting your trust in others and you are able to celebrate something. So maybe it was the completion of a project, and you are now just waiting on, where it'll go from there. But it does actually feel like it is something along that line, that it is some kind of a completion of a project, that you're now moving away from an old way of doing things, and you have reached a time of feeling like you can celebrate and put your faith in others, and that you're well supported on that journey. So in terms of money, it is waiting for that to come through, but it is still something that's in the works. This is more toward the beginning of February, as I mentioned. So moving on to the next card, there is the Nine of Pentacles. So that's really what you're working towards. So something in terms of independence is coming through here. So the Nine of Pentacles, as I mentioned, is money, is self-reliance, it's accomplishment, it's security. It would be that ability to, be self-sufficient. And again, in terms of money, that also would mean recognition and job promotion or something coming through for your contribution. So for the effort that you put in for a task, and moving away from the time of hardship and beginning and ending, celebrating, and you're moving into a time of reaping those rewards. So following that is another card of happiness, and that is the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands speaks to that celebration and joy again. It's all around that time of transition. So it's a happy event. There's some kind of blessing that's coming in together with that celebration. And it's basically about harmony and you leaving the past behind. So there is a new pathway here for you all around. That is screaming through on all those cards. There is a message coming through with the Eight of Wands. Eights are generally about overcoming obstacles. You have a lot of wands in this reading, so there's a lot of action, ambition, motivation, energy, lots of energy behind whatever this project is that you've been doing or starting. But the Eight of Wands speaks to a message coming through quickly to communicate, but it's also, again, eights are about overcoming obstacles. So following that is the Page of Pentacles. Pages are also, and also I should mention with the Eight of Wands, that it's really an intuitive card. So it does mean that there is, as much as there's a lot of ideas and swift action and things coming through, which also could speak to you feeling overwhelmed. But again, it's followed by the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is all about, turning your vision into a reality. It's about new information, new knowledge, new skills, practicality, A window of opportunity is coming through here anyway with the Page of Wands, but again, it's also about, getting organized and seeing what you can accomplish. It is being strongly committed, and it's definitely, it can be a new course of study or new skills, as they say, being learned. And because that swift communication coming through there, it does speak to me that you're on some kind of new journey. Just as a secondary issue, I mean, and certainly because there was the Nine of Pentacles coming through just prior to that, about being independent and paying down loans and applying for monies or investments and savings, that kind of thing is all coming through as well with the Page of Pentacles. But basically, my feeling is overall that this is more about new skills, new course of study. You're starting something new. You've accomplished something, and there's a celebration that goes with it, but there's still more to go. There's still more to learn that goes with whatever this project is. There was a clarifier with that Eight of Wands as well, which is just about you being a warrior. And that was this card here. That's the Seven of Wands, and that's you being a warrior, taking action and standing up for yourself. Just having that overall courage to overcome your own fears and go forward. You actually have three pages in here. There's the Page of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. Sometimes, pages certainly are a lot of new skill sets coming through here and a lot of new opportunity, because you're dealing with emotions and inspiration and the practical, and you've got the ambition and the drive to go forward with it. But the pages, when you have a cluster of a few of them, three is usually indicating there could be some communication issues. There could be something negative that is coming through. Just, again, nothing severe, because I don't see a lot of cards of there is some anxiety for sure, and things that self-sabotage, that kind of thing coming through. But again, nothing that's really sticking. Most of the energy of this card of this month is really quite positive. And again, there's a lot of intuition that's coming through. That was a clarifier for the Page of Pentacles, is the Page of Cups. So again, pages are about messages coming through, and so that Page of Cups also speaks to a new beginning, and it's a creative beginning. So whatever this project is, could be writing a book, could be, starting a new job or whatever, but I suspect this is really more of a creative project because of this card, which clarifies the Pentacles, the new study. So it's just trusting in your intuition. This card especially speaks to that, to trust in your own intuition, and just to continue on that journey with a new business idea or a creative beginning of some sort, something that is that you already have in the works. But again, with the divine synchronizing things up for you, because there's so many cards of being guided, you are being led towards something. So keep at it. This is actually the Lover's card, which also speaks to that level of completion. So it is feeling complete. Whatever this project is, it feels like it's something of a passionate project that you've taken on, because it is something that makes you feel like you're in harmony, like you have some kind of balance because of it. But again, it could also represent a new job coming through, or that you're attracting good fortune of some sort. Fortune doesn't necessarily have to be money. It can be just, that something good could be coming your way, that relates to the success of that project or advances it in some way. But either way, it does indicate that there's some kind of a big change that's coming. The next card that we have there is a little covered up, but it is the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands, again, wands are all about action. The page is about messages coming through. So it is about new opportunities. Again, lots of information here about new opportunities coming through because of whatever this project was, this creative project that you've begun. And, and it is something. This card here speaks to making sure that it is being expressed, because the star indicates that new light is being shed on it. So you are continuing to build whatever this project is, with the star card. And again, star card also, is a fortunate time and a positive omen for money and finance. So it's, again, this reading does speak to moving toward independence financially, and certainly things to celebrate along the way, but definitely more along the lines of being optimistic and inspirationally led throughout the month of February, because it is leading to something of success. Okay, moving on to this is the King of Cups. The King of Cups isn't especially good with money, but the King of Cups definitely speaks to somebody who is like a father figure. So it could represent yourself or an energy around you. But the King of Cups is that person who is trustworthy and calm and, tends to be very reliable and, somebody who is providing guidance and could be quite wise. So again, it could be somebody that you trust, but it is, or it could be yourself, and that, could be you just with controlled emotions and that kind of thing as well. Comes through with that card. Sorry, trying to keep it a little lined up so it doesn't look so disturbing on the video. Anyway, the next card following that is the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords speaks to moving away from troubled waters into calmer waters. So it is a time where you're overcoming problems and you have more cooperation from people. It is a time where there is more communication coming through. And following that is the Strength card. The Strength card speaks to, sorry, these are all clarifier cards from the involving this masculine energy up here. It doesn't have to be a man, but just somebody who speaks to that, the energies of being calm, father figure, and although it does feel like it is a male energy, but nonetheless, it's just somebody who represents that energy. So again, back to the Strength card. Strength card is about standing in your integrity, taking control of your life, and continuing to move forward with courage. There is also an energy coming through of a younger person. This is the Page of Wands, or sorry, the Knight of Wands. The Knights are certainly, Knights are about news and direction. So news is still coming through, but it's also letting you know that you are moving in, again, this is a creative card, you're moving in a creative direction. So with the Knight of Wands, again, it's energy because it's the Wands, but the Knight of Wands is somebody who could also, this is somebody around you possibly, or yourself, but it is somebody who has a real impatient, enthusiastic type of quality. They tend to really enjoy the journey, but, to get somewhere, but they're not necessarily fixated on the outcome. It's just about starting the projects, expressing themselves, getting things out there. They like to take off and get started in a hurry, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there is any real finish line for them. And they can be somebody who's quite sensitive, and although they might appear quite self-assured, and maybe even a little bit vain, they are just a really passionate, impatient kind of person that doesn't like to be controlled. And they could be quite social as well. So I don't know if the screen is really going to show this very well, but the card following that is the Fool. So the Fool is about taking that leap of faith and starting out on that journey. It is more of a beginning of that journey. So whatever your project is that you've been working on, this is something that is now about to start moving in the direction of your dream or your goal. Again, the Fool is that eternal optimist. It's about jumping in, and it's a personal quest. It's something, again, like a personal journey. It's not just getting a job and doing well. This is you getting out there, looking for the doors to go through and start on a journey. But again, no real end in sight. It is somebody who's also quite impulsive as well. So then moving up to the Eight of Swords, and again, eights overcoming obstacles. So the Eight of Swords represents you self-sabotaging. Doesn't necessarily, it's not really super significant because it's not, it's not really coupled with a fair amount of anxiety cards and being stuck in your head, that kind of thing. I mean, there is some underneath the Justice as clarifiers, but overall, this is a card that really just speaks to you self-sabotaging. You are getting in, blocking yourself to some degree. You might not feel like you have enough money or feel like you've got enough of something, time or whatever to continue on with this journey. But either way, you're just feeling a little bit victimized. You can always, everything's very loosely bound around this individual. So, the blindfold could be taken off at any time. It's only loose ropes. It's nothing that's, really restrictive. It's just you feeling trapped and powerless. Um, Sometimes it can indicate a lack of direction, but I don't really feel that's the case, especially because we have all these other clarifier cards, which I should have mentioned go along with the Fool, and that would be the Chariot. And the Chariot is really about a victory. It is about achieving that direction. It's the willpower, that motivation and the confidence to get to where you need to go. And again, it was followed by, basically a rebirth, a transition card with the death card. So getting rid of the old way, there's a victory, overcoming all of that, and moving ahead with the, trying to keep it all in the screen here for you to see, moving ahead with the Ace of Wands. And again, Ace of Wands, all about energy, ambition, motivation, strong drive here, again, because there's so many wands involved. But again, the Ace of Wands speaks to that new venture and new beginnings, new opportunities. You're acting on inspiration. You're somebody who's quite motivated with this creative idea. So moving on to the last card, which has several clarifiers, but that is the Justice card. And again, Justice speaks to, many things. I mean, it's you and it does represent a Libra energy, so it could be that there's a Libra involved here as well, but it does represent that things are being balanced and that the right decisions are being made. So, for all of the opportunities that you have in this reading, the things that are opening up to you, I would say that, this is telling you that you are moving in the right direction. It is, and you're definitely guided by intuition, but again, it also speaks to, any legal matters or accounts that need to be settled and loans. Those kinds of problems are now in the works to being resolved. So especially considering it was followed by clarifier cards that involve, the Five of Wands and that battle against others, which is probably, it could be related to money, but it's just you struggling with, with whatever your issues are, battling yourself. Just competition or rivals, other people around you that make you feel like you're persecuted, or you're just basically quarreling over nothing. But the nine indicates, nines are about action. This Nine of Wands is about taking action, so it's no real threat there. The Nine of Wands, as I said, is just being prepared to act. So you're learning from those life lessons and moving on because you've made it. This is a period of stagnation with the Two of Swords, but it is also about trying to find balance here with the twos. And the fours, but the Two of Swords is that indecision, not sure what you were going to do there for a period. You moved into the soul-searching energy, which is also divinely led with the Hermit, and you have come out of that soul-searching energy, and you have reached the Two of Wands. But again, with falling into that Hermit energy, you were still being divinely led, and you could have been even healing over something, doing that self-reflection, but I suspect there was also something related to that solitude and that being patient that you needed to heal from. As well, as I say, it was then clarified with the final card, which is the Two of Wands. Twos are about finding that balance as well and that inner peace and harmony. And that is achievement. So the Two of Wands is, somebody who has the power to work through the problems. They are in touch with the divine again. It's pretty clear throughout this whole reading you are being intuitively led. And again, this is just for the month of February, but it can trail off into the further down the road, into March and April. And again, it does speak to ambition and achievement. It can also be a new job, but again, I feel this is more of a creative reading all over the place. So I think this is some kind of passion project that you've been working on for some time. Anyway, I hope that reading gives you a little insight into February. All looks pretty positive. Again, just with you doing the usual little bits of, self-sabotage, battling unnecessarily, You know, sometimes you just have to let go of those little battles and release control, over control, just because it doesn't serve you and it does slow you down from progress. So anyway, positive reading, lots of insight. Just keep yourself open. I just wanted to give you the three cards here overall for 2020, which speak to insight, just insight energies for you. So that was the King of Raphael, and it says yes. Sorry, just going to try to clarify that a little better. Yes, it is safe to trust. The ability to accomplish many things at once. Follow your creative passions. And the next card that you had was the King of Michael. Wisdom and objectivity are important now. Stay in your integrity. A situation that calls for honest and open communication. So to be principled and rational and ambitious, and you'll be respected. And the final card for the energy of 2020 was, or is, the Six of Michael. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans, relocation or travel. I suspect this really speaks to more of travel, though. I don't feel that there's a move involved here. There wasn't a lot of supporting cards around that, but definitely for energies for 2020. You know, these are also places that you might be inspired by when you travel. So either way, that just gives you a bit of a rundown. Hope that was helpful to you, and until next time.